Hi everyone, and welcome to another daily creative coding video. We're continuing on with Hydra again, because I've been having a fair bit of fun with it. So let's just keep trying to make interesting things with it. First thing I'm thinking of is we should be able to do something like we should be able to do something like this with, so I believe that's the higher pitches. Okay. Dot out. Let's explicitly say that that goes to O0. Alright. Alright, shoot. It's not oh, wait. Ah, yeah. If there, oh my goodness. Okay. Alright. Okay. So, yeah, let's not play around with that at all. But let's have this scroll just slowly. Okay, so what you can see is we've got this responding to my voice. And here, make it respond more to the higher pitches. So, if I talk slightly more in a head voice, we can see the color coming into the picture. And that's always kind of fun. We can probably use that to use this to modulate some things. At the very least, let's try seeing what happens if we have blend controlled by voice. Let's do noise, and then noise. Yeah, let's just have noise, and then make the amount be a.f of t of 1. And let's see what happens. Alright, so we should be able to see, oh, I did again. So if you're watching, you're not quite sure what's going wrong. So the problem is that if you leave out this part with the arrow, if you leave that out, what that's going to do is that means you're grabbing this at a moment in time. You're grabbing whatever it was, the value of that thing was in that particular moment when you ran the code. That is almost never what you actually want to do. What you want to do is have it be a function of time. And you want it to be changing as the inputs change. Well, in order to do that, you have to make it a function. And this is one of the syntaxes of doing functions in JavaScript. This is functions as expressions. It's basically, this is for my programming theory nerds out there. It's lambda abstraction. It's just a lambda abstraction. That's all this is. I can't remember if they actually call it that in JavaScript. Or whatever they call that syntax, but it's lambda abstraction. Well, you got to see the effect of my cough even as I was not able to hold it as I had it muted. Let's just make that like slightly smaller scale. Okay, so it's a little more subtle effect, and actually one that I am pretty heckin' fond of. Yeah, I actually like that effect a lot, and sort of ties things together as I'm talking. Even let's change this a little bit. Okay, so it's a little stronger, but not so much so that it's and then here I'm actually going to still do something with the so what we're going to do here is we're going to okay, we have that. Is that all right? I think that's all right. So now let's put the math.sign around there so that it's sort of capped. Okay. Jeez, it's still flashing really hard. That doesn't make any sense. Why is it still so big? That doesn't... Sometimes I swear I do not understand the ways things work, given that because if I were to do something like this, right, like that should be a very small effect. And yet but yeah. Let me do something like this. Okay, so you can kind of see things wiggling around a little bit, and I'm actually okay with that. It's just, it's not doing the really overt, like, but what else can we modulate voice-wise? Okay, this could get ugly, but we're going to try it, and we're going to hopefully not do anything too egregious here. But so let's say we do that floor of, I assume these are values that are like less than one. Well, let's do 5 times. Oh yeah, now that's what I was trying to do. At that floor, 5 times a.fft of 2, and this time we're not going to forget to make it a function. Okay, so, oof, oh my, okay, so that's incredible. Very okay. So the problem was we had to give it a base setting in order to be stable. Let's actually. Okay. So now it's a little. I wish there was a way to almost slow the transitions, because this is. It's a little rough on the eyes, I think. I mean, awesome, but I worry it would be sort of hard on someone. Here. If we do it as a kind of a, here, if we take like a baseline that's less, if we just sort of, this kind of just smooths it out, I think that'll help. And I'll also take out the velocity part, and then, okay, so now it's going to be a little less, more like a Tool music video and less like something out of Aronofsky. I swear that yeah, so that's a little calmer, I think. Particularly if I have it going outwards. And then, okay, now it's sort of like this kind of gentle post type visuals type of thing. In terms of things that I feel awkward and saying, but here we can have even sort of brighter, more gently hallucinogenic visuals. And we've kind of got the here. Let's turn down this blending a little, or make the blending a little stronger, and maybe even with a little extra constant so it's never quite gone. And now we've got some cute stuff here. Let's control one last thing. How far are we here? Okay, we've been going for like 10 minutes, so that's not bad. So now let's be silly and again modulate. Let's modulate the hue as well. So let's but a different part of the sound spectrum. So, because I mean the fast Fourier transform. Okay, but just a little backstory. What that means is that it's basically breaking it up into buckets. Like the Fourier transform is how you go between thinking of a signal as it is in time versus as it is as like a function of frequencies. If you split up into frequencies, well, what you're doing is essentially getting like its shape in terms of like the frequency distribution of what makes up the signal. And the fast Fourier transform is the thing that kind of turns everything into like discrete buckets, which is what we want for these purposes. But yeah, Fourier series, Fourier analysis. You love having a dry cough from like starting in 2019 and continuing through the entirety of a freaking pandemic. But anyway, so let's see how this happens if we also change the hue. And then if I draw my voice down a little bit, we can see that it produces kind of different colors than if I try and talk more in a head voice. The shape and color versus color, we can get a little more rainbowy, a little less lavender and lime. So that's kind of neat, and that's sort of a fun effect. I do like that you can get a little bit of this wiggle every time my keyboard but yeah, so we can kind of make the effect even more. So that's kind of fun. I think this is worth saving as a snippet. Just sort of trying out what works and what doesn't for using sound to like using the microphone to cause things to react. Again, I'm learning the lesson. You have to be very careful with anything that touches the velocity setting of the oscillators because, oof, it can get flashy quickly. Because the parameters are not changing. Like there's not like smooth transitions. It's just sort of immediate. And unless you build smoothness, like when you use like a sine wave, you're building the smoothness in. And if you don't do that, you're not going to have smoothness at all. You're just going to have something that kind of wrecks your face. So on that note, go ahead and end this video here, upload it, and save this code snippet for my personal notes. See you in tomorrow's creative coding video.